Well, welcome, Open Your Hymnal listeners. Matt and Zach here from Richmond, Minnesota. This is actually Matt's kitchen. We thought it would be fun to explore one of our other interests. And truth be told, Matt, if I could leave Open Your Hymnal behind and make a food podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not delve any deeper into that.
So if anyone is looking for a co-host for a food podcast, anyways, we have just gotten done with an amazing week at the One Call Institute in Collegeville at St. John's University, and we are just doing a little bit of decompressing. And so we thought, what better goal than to try to make a Bernaise sauce? We have
better living through Bernaise.
Yeah.
That's the name of your podcast. That has yet to.
Wouldn't it be ironic if you named the podcast I left you for?
Good night, everybody.
Hey, Carmen Grace, maybe you could show her the viewers.
Yeah,
the
we're here with the live
steaks that we
studio
have.
audience.
Yeah, it's the first time that we've ever had a live studio audience, and it's for something
Say hi,
that we've
everyone.
never actually accomplished before.
Not unlike Open Your Hymnal.
You want to show the steaks?
That's what we're working with.
Kate
That's
Williams
what-
says
That's
hi.
what the sauce is for.
Say hi to Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hey, millennial.
If you haven't watched Kate's Facebook Live with Rory Cooney, make sure you go and catch up on that. I think that's going to be quite the topic of discussion at the upcoming NPM convention.
It was a different kind of cooking, that's for sure.
She said thanks for the invite. ...
We'll be using, of course, Julia Child's
Of course.
Bernaise recipe.
So Matt, what are you doing right now?
Right now, I am melting a stick and a half of butter so that it can cool, so that we can continue with the next couple of steps.
Alright,
And what are you doing, Zach?
I have chopped the shallot that's going to go into a vinegar reduction that we're going to make. And that will also get poured to, that provides the main base of flavoring for the Bernaise sauce, according to Miss Julia Child here.
And I believe the Bernaise sauce, for those who are not familiar, is in the Hollandaise family.
That's right. We learned that literally 5 minutes ago.
But it's true.
Yes. Hollandaise, we all know now, is one from the family of the classic French sauces.
That's right.
Actually, anyone who's seen Ratatouille also knows that.
So if you're over the age of 70 and under the age of 9, you're good to go. Which generation is that?
Now the
You guys are 70?
In many ways, we're over 70.
now I'm chopping the tarragon.
It was like 3 years ago.
Let's see here.
Do you feel any anxiety that you could slice your thumb on live Facebook?
Yeah, please don't try to show off.
I'm really curious as to whether I get workman's comp at the parish.
Rory was pretty. Now they know you're here and not there. So Rory was so worried about doing this in a moving vehicle, and now we're doing this with knives. I
Yep.
feel like we kicked it up a notch. I can't wait to see what Tuesdays with Michael does. Fire eating or something.
What are the people saying?
Are there any comments?
What people?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, we just lost a few more viewers.
Oh, bummer.
It's
We only
because
have-
they know they weren't.
Oh, we're
invited
at
for
the 3
steaks.
viewers now.
Will you be
5.
giving any tasks to your listening audience?
Oh,
Your
like
studio.
kind of like how Emerald used to do.
You
Yeah.
can feel free to cook along with us.
No, I meant
Take
your
out some
you
New
need
York
us to
strips.
help you.
Your studio is
Quite
the
a-
studio.
How's your butter coming?
I think that's
The butter has been melted and now it needs to cool.
subtracted.
Maybe Matt, you could measure out the vinegar. Do you have like champagne vinegar or white wine vinegar?
I'm offended by the question.
Oh,
I won't respond to it.
this is gonna be like I think like an IKEA visit for us together. It's gonna see whether we can really get through this thing. We're gonna need a quarter cup of that white wine.
Rory won't stop swearing.
Well,
By the way, we should
Tell him to
say
slow down.
none of the brands of food we're using are official sponsors.
but if you'd like to become a sponsor,
Yeah, but if you'd like to sponsor.
Yeah, who makes the tarragon here? Goodness Gardens.
Yep, thanks to Goodness Gardens for sponsoring Open Your Cookbook.
Thank goodness.
quarter cup, you said?
Are you gonna make a vegetarian option? Rory's wondering.
No.
No.
I don't understand the question, and I won't respond.
This here is as vegetarian. This here is as vegetarian as it's going to
That's
be.
it.
Shoot.
I see in your prep you are putting aside a
Yep, we have some jelly
little
beans
jelly
reserved
beans.
off on the side for the children.
I can't make that happen. Hey, we're working on it.
Yep, we believe on cooking with animals.
All right. So now I think
While you're cooking animals.
we're ready to get. Where is that? Boil the vinegar, wine, shallots, herbs, and seasonings. What? Like salt.
This is like when someone has been retired for a while and not familiar with the missile precise. Fills in on the weekend. Put the vinegar in here.
Yeah. So Matt, how did you feel about one call?
I was very pleased with one call. I feel like we hit all of the goals we were hoping to hit. I feel like the students really knocked it on the park, especially in our concert yesterday and our liturgy today. And I feel very pleased. Do you?
Yeah, very, very much so. Do you have any?
I feel like if we weren't pleased, we would not be cooking together in the kitchen right now.
Kate, there's a kitty for you.
Definitely not making Bernaise.
She said that they crashed. She said send help.
Wire whisk.
Oh, yeah.
Can't help you. Just kidding. Don't crash, please.
All right, so we're gonna stir this. We need to let this reduce. Let's see, what does it say?
What does
To
that
about
mean?
2 tablespoons.
Yeah, tell us. Do you have
Tell us
any reduction
reducing.
tips for when you?
Whenever I've tried to do things like this, I always don't have the patience for it, and I say, that looks about right, and it's never right. So I'm hoping that maybe with your set of strengths that you can help us.
Oh yeah. What's your top 5?
My top. So at the One Call Institute, we had the kids do the Clifton Strengths Finder. Our theme was "You Work Great Things in Me," so we wanted to really find a way to provide some concrete ways in which all of these kids are great. And
Your sous chef just came in.
Off-camera help here. Anyway.
oh, what happened to the?
Metal on metal.
Oh,
So your top 5
Oh,
were.
We didn't want to interrupt your conversation.
sure.
Yeah, we
sure.
did.
We have to use the wire for when we do the actual sauce.
Yep.
So.
It'll be ready.
Mine
your top
are
5.
strategic,
Mm-hmm.
maximizer, individualization, relator, and command. You're not doing that right.
Why not?
Just kidding.
Oh.
I said-
Oh, because of the
That
command.
was a joke.
My self-assurance is very low. So, why? I am a learner, achiever, input, connectedness, and communication.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. How do you see those manifest in your How do you see those manifest in our podcasting?
Well, I think certainly, I enjoy the process of conversing with composers. I think the learner and input portion, right? Obviously, I as far as my limited understanding is, communication would make sense in a podcast medium, and I mean, we juggle a lot. I think without achiever in there, it would be difficult to keep all of that in the air,
Right. Obviously, eggs are a big part of French cooking. About this sauce, are these eggs from your chickens?
Those eggs are from our chickens.
You should tell our viewers about your chickens.
We have 13 chickens here at the Open Your Hymnal compound. And we're about to enjoy some of the fruits of their labors. We also have bees.
Bees?
So, bees. We have bees. So, Zach, what do you think? There's always shadow sides to strengths, right? So you mentioned before that looks about right. Where does that shadow side come from? Is it the shadow side of one of your top 5?
I think for me, definitely, I see a lot of the shadow side of Maximizer, especially when I have been a private teacher of young students and beginners. Maximizer for me really, I really enjoy taking something that's already good and making it better or using it in different ways and that sort of thing. It's very hard for me to build something from scratch.
Yeah. Is that why you didn't talk to me for the first 5 years that we knew each other?
Because you weren't
Yeah.
good enough.
You had to wait till I proved myself.
He talked to me within a month.
One of our OCI students is watching. Mallory Snodgrass is
Oh,
on.
Mallory!
Mallory!
Congratulations on a great week, Mallory.
Mallory also has a podcast that we should plug.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's called Pocket Politics.
Help us out, Mallory.
Mallory, in the comments, tell our viewers what your podcast is and what it's about.
On the back of the phone, there's
So let's get a good shot of this.
Yep, so here you can see the reduction. We're working through. About 2 tablespoons, you said, right, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a little ways to go.
You're separating yolks.
I am separating yolks.
What's
and
your preferred technique for yolk separation?
I do the shell-to-shell method.
You're not a Paul Hollywood, just do it in your hand.
I've heard that the hand is the smoother way to
I do show to show.
Okay. So we have a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
We are at 1 call.
Jess, one of our co-directors is here with us here. Jess, what are your top 5?
Oh gosh, don't make me do them on the spot. I'll tell you this, my 2 that, we're already timing. The 2 that probably most relate to each other are achiever and restorative. And so I see that those play out in that I want everything to be done and I like to solve all the problems to get it done.
Nice.
Awesome.
I like that. We also have with us Zach's brother, Scott.
Hi, how are you?
Scott, what are your top 5?
1 is adaptability. 2 is activator.
Uh-huh.
We got empathy, relator, and maximizer. The only strength I share
Kate,
was
it's
that.
okay to not have empathy.
Yeah. And do you also enjoy cooking? Is that a Stahowski?
I enjoy eating and watching. Good for me.
Of course. Of course.
I prefer when people cook for me.
pink or yellow.
Yeah. This is Bex Gaunt, everybody. Bex, what are your top 5?
This one.
Not memory, because I'm gonna struggle to remember.
What's the one you relate with the most?
My number 1 is empathy, and I have strategic. Wait, is that one?
Yep.
Intellection.
Yep. Wish you had your
Adaptability.
name tag, don't you?
Yeah, I was like, oh, adaptability.
There's one more left.
And then I don't remember what the other
Yeah.
was, but yeah.
So we have a wide and varied and complementary group, more or less. is what you're saying.
It says beat the egg yolks until thick and sticky. Would you say?
Let's ask our listening audience.
George Miller, are you watching? Is this thick and sticky?
George is going to be offended that our whisk
Follow
comes
the
from
rubric.
Target.
Follow the rubric.
George is,
Justin is telling you.
George is going to be upset that
Justin,
our...
who?
I'm gonna butcher his last name.
Okay. Nardikia?
Nope, with an H.
Oh,
Buick?
okay.
Buick?
George would be more offended if
Hi.
he knew that I don't have
hi,
a
Justin.
list.
How are things in Canton? George is offended that my whisk doesn't come from Williams and Sonoma.
Well,
You know what? I'm glad that Justin Hike is on. Matt, why don't you tell the listeners about the mission that we did in Canton, Ohio?
Oh yeah, we did a 3-night mission in Canton, Ohio to kick off Lent, the Lenten series at St. Michael the Archangel. We didn't do any cooking, but we could do cooking-related missions, I suppose,
Yeah, I
right?
think we would do that.
We had Marty Haugen in as our guest, and at some point in the very near future, a recording of one of those evenings will be featured in a podcast episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, listeners, look for that.
You know, we introduced Bex to the listening audience. Maybe Matt, while I try to figure this next step out, maybe you could ask Bex about in the morning and the evening. Maybe if Kate
Bex.
Williams is still with us, we could talk about a womb tomb.
Yeah, that's right. So we were very pleased in our concert. One of the pieces that the participants sang was In the Morning, in the Evening, written by Bex with text by Adam Tice. Bex, what was it, like as someone who doesn't compose, like what's it like to be in a setting like that with musicians like that hearing one of your pieces?
I think it's particularly, there's just something particularly special and moving about it when it was a big group of youth, so it's a bunch of young people, and hearing that message that obviously resonated with me, that seemed to resonate with a lot of other people, is just really, really neat.
Yeah. That's not the first time you've heard it in like a setting like that. I mean, you've obviously heard it many times, you've used it, but any other like sort of like groups like that, or is this the largest group that you've heard perform?
The largest group so far. I hadn't actually heard. I tried some of the SATB out with some different groups, but we'll just say that this is the first time I really heard the parts how I heard it in my head, and that was really cool to hear that it worked, and that I think it helped the melody and the refrain. So.
One of the things I'm really glad that we did this year is that we live streamed the One Call concert. So if you did not attend or watch the concert, you can go to the One Call Institute Facebook page, and you can like it if you haven't already liked it. And then you can watch the entire concert, and it was really fun to be watching the live stream, monitoring the live stream, and seeing a lot of our friends and past guests from this podcast show up to watch. Thanks for watching, Fran O'Brien. And then also a lot of the composers of pieces that we were singing that evening. So Lorraine Hess was watching while we were singing her song, and that was really, really fun to be able to bring that all together.
And also parents of OCI families were very appreciative
And
too.
parents of OCI, we had participants from 19 states and almost 30 dioceses. So it was great to be able to have families from all over understand a little bit more about what their family members were doing.
We need low heat.
We need low heat.
Stat.
I have always been able to provide low heat.
And you know what? I just had a terrible realization.
Oh no, what did we do wrong?
Yeah, the sauce is not going to keep if we don't, we need
Fire
to
the
make the
steaks.
steaks now.
Ooh.
And Kate Williams is still here, so if you want to talk about Women Too.
Oh yeah. So Kate is going to post in the comments information about her resource of Woman Tomb from GIA Publications, which has a whole series of information, scripture passages, texts, poems, all kinds of recommendations for working with those who have experienced miscarriages or experienced loss of children, to be able to be pastorally present to all situations. And it's a really beautiful resource, and it's something that if you work in a parish or faith community and you don't have it on your shelf, you need to buy it. And if the people who work for your faith community don't have it, you have to make sure to recommend that they buy it too. So Kate's going to include that in the comment section, so you make sure that you pick it up.
Yay, Kate.
A tip and trick from Doug Starkeybaum. You can keep it on a warm burner and it'll hold until you're ready.
Oh,
Is
wonderful.
that true? That's amazing. Doug, I have enjoyed following your culinary exploits.
I love now that we have cooks both in the kitchen and on
Virtually.
Yep. That is amazing. Here on Better Living Through Bernaise. Do you feel more confident now that we've heard Doug's recommendation?
Yep.
That was not convincing.
That was not convincing.
He's reading.
How about I stir in?
Multitasking is not a strong suit of a maximizer.
One of the things that we have at the One Call Institute, in addition to all of the young people who had been singing and performing, is we also had an advocate track. And so Kate Williams is currently driving in the car with Rory Cooney on their way back to Chicago, and Rory and Lisa Anslinger were the two primary teachers for the advocate track, trying to teach people and equip people with skills for how to engage young people in their parishes when they go home. And we had a really great group of about 22 adults with us who had been with us for most of the week, who now are on fire to go out and to do, and we can't wait to hear in the coming weeks about how those efforts have borne fruit. So Kate, if you can tell Rory thank you for all of that, that would be appreciated. We also are looking for culinary advocates at the moment to help us identify the best processes here to salvage a Bernaise. So if you...
More butter always
More
works.
butter. Yep.
Yeah.
Better Living Through Butter is the name of this program.
Yep. This is Julia Child.
Are you sure?
So I think we're doing okay.
No racist.
It was a butter joke.
The sauce is thick. It's
Oh,
slightly,
George is on.
It's
We got
slightly
George.
lumpy, which worries me a little bit.
Is that mine?
George, help us.
George, it's lumpy.
I'll guarantee that whatever Bernaise comes out of this process is better than the Bernaise available to George.
He
right
goes,
now.
really, boys? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark.
Yeah. We just want to make you proud, George.
They're trying.
All we've ever wanted.
It's not scrambled, so we're successful in that. It has not scrambled.
Did you just add water to it, or what was that?
No, I was just trying to cool down the pan so
Got
it
it.
doesn't keep cooking.
Okay, just getting clarity for your.
And as we know from one of our favorite Netflix specials and cookbooks, it's all about heat as one of the 4 primary elements here when you're trying to cook.
That's right.
Thank you,
Samin
Samin
Nosrat.
Nosrat. Yep. We are not sponsored by Samin Nosrat, but Samin, if you're watching.
Really, we're not sponsored. Well, perhaps we are sponsored by some people.
Yeah, not Samin.
Yeah, not Samin. I was gonna make a cynical joke that said we're not really sponsored by anyone, but that isn't true right now.
That is not true. We've had an increasing number of sponsors who have been interested in supporting the work of Open Your Hymnal. And so it's really important to us that as you listen to our episodes and you hear those sponsors, that you check them out, because we're really grateful that they make the podcast and weird things like this possible.
I would like to suggest, Matt, that we pour the melted butter now into that thing.
My mouth.
Great.
To Becky's mouth.
I bet people didn't know that we had such diverse skills, although we haven't really pulled this thing
I
off.
bet people didn't realize we had any skills.
Zach, what is the first go-to meal that you remember being able to prepare? Like, as you were cooking, when you're like, oh, if I'm going to cook for someone, I'm going to make...
You know what? I thought that I was some kind of special genius, because what I started doing is I would take those Mrs. or Auntie T's or Mrs. T's frozen pierogies.
Yeah.
I would make those, but I would add, like, I would saute onions and mushrooms and put it on top.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, you know.
So defrosting.
But everyone knew.
Well, I'm sure everyone knew, yeah. Okay. Oh, I think we're good here.
That looks
Can I get a shot of it?
Yeah.
Yep. That looks pretty good.
Viewers,
George?
tell us,
Nice.
what do you think? So we have not added the melted butter yet, which is what is next. Now,
Ooh.
Miss
Paul
Julia
Tate's on.
Child says, then beating the egg yolks with a wire whip, pour on the melted butter by droplets, or quarter-teaspoonfuls, until the sauce begins to thicken into a very heavy cream.
This is where the...
Then pour the butter a little more rapidly. Omit the milky residue at the bottom of the butter pan.
All right.
This is why you need each other right now.
So while you're very
Droplets.
carefully doing that and thinking, Doug asks, I put too much salt in my borscht. How do I fix it?
And my what?
Could you please say what city you're calling from? Doug from...
You might have to just add more beets.
Yep, more beats.
More beets, Doug.
Yep, more beats is always the answer. Thanks, Doug from Edina, for calling.
I don't know if I should be beating rapidly.
I think
George,
that's
where
what
are
it
you?
Yeah.
is. Yep. George,
Because
how's
you
the
want it to
Bernaise
turn
in the
into-
airport?
Doug, we need
Cream.
some supervision here.
This
in.
is looking right. This is looking like what I've had in restaurants before.
Now, if I'm not mistaken from experience dining out with you, Zach, is that oftentimes you will order Bernaise even if it's not necessarily the appropriate sauce for the kind of meat.
I will absolutely order Bernaise.
For
if
French fries.
Like, I would put Bernaise on a Big Mac. I love
Oh
Bernaise.
my
that much.
lord. Oh my god.
So, McDonald's, if you're listening and you're looking for the next great marketing thing.
There's a very there's a French restaurant in the city of Frederick where I live that I go to, and they have a steak frites, and you know they do steak frites with ribeye, which I feel like is a little much, but and I'll always ask for a Bernaise, and the French bartender, because you don't traditionally have Bernaise with ribeye, because ribeyes are traditionally a little more fatty of meat. The French guy will always give me the snootiest look when I ask for a Bernaise, and I'm like, give me the Bernaise, man.
So, Paul Tate, who I love, said, wow, Rachel Ray has really let herself go.
Are you referring to me or Matt?
Clarification would be
Clarify,
Paul.
Paul. George wants to know when you're grilling the steaks, and he's very concerned because he put 3 question marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for George, he uses a lot more punctuation than that. So I'm not worried. We all take our steaks pretty rare, so they'll be fine.
Speaking of eating, NPM is coming up.
NPM news. This is no joke. joke. This is going to sound like a joke, but this is no joke. But when we find out where the NPM convention is located, we immediately go to Open Table.
I don't know if I told you, Matt. I already have reservations for Tuesday and Wednesday.
I know that, and I believe also Kate Williams gave me some Raleigh-related restaurant suggestions. So, Kate, if you have those and want to share with our listeners, if you want to share the names of the restaurants that you enjoy, go ahead. But if you're going to NPM and you want to know where to eat, find somebody in an Open Your Hymnal shirt, and we'll help you out.
Paul Tate would like to clarify, he was just kidding. He does love you both.
Why don't you love Rachel Ray, Paul?
There is no EVO.
We also are excited, since Paul is on, that we were able to interview Paul when he was here in Minneapolis at the same time as Zach for some recording.
That's
So
right.
Paul's interview is one of the interviews we have in the can here, just waiting to be released. So in the next couple of months here in season 3, you'll hear from Paul Tate by the waters of Babylon.
By the waters of Babylon.
Woo!
Yep.
We did a good late night rendition of that one.
We did. One of the customs of the One Call team is that in the evenings that we'll have a sing-along. And we like to sing a lot of songs by a lot of our friends. And Paul, we got to a couple of your numbers.
Justin would like to know more about your past NPM great eats. Any tips and tricks?
Oh, Cincinnati was where was that?
Don't stop whispering.
He was just remembering.
Oh, Cincinnati was pretty good. Remember?
Yeah, what were the names of the places?
I don't know, but I could get you there. I remember where they were located.
Well, Baltimore was fantastic.
Baltimore,
We
Sagamore Pendry. If you're in Baltimore in the Inner Harbor and you're looking for a place for a drink or a snack, look no further than Sagamore Pendry.
Yeah.
Or Bar Vasquez.
Bar Vasquez.
Which had some of the best
Like-
steak I've ever had.
Really
And
good.
and the corn was amazing.
Oh, and remember when we had that 100%
Keep
Malbec?
whispering.
And also, if you remember, they had live flamenco music.
And
which
the
was
guitarist
Yeah.
was
If you're anyone who's
amazing.
familiar with GE&I, you're going to want to go to this place on Friday nights.
Thickens? Are you supposed to still go rapidly?
I'm supposed to go rapidly until the butter is done, and then
And I don't
the
use
butter
these.
goes. We don't
Well,
want
You
the
don't want the
milky
bottom.
residue.
Right, let me see. I've washed my hands.
No one ever does.
Yep, here you go. So Bar Vasquez was where it was at. Bar Vasquez also, for those of you who are not vegetarians and are not squeamish, has an amazing beef tartare, which I know is not for everybody, but if it's for you, Bar Vasquez.
Doug has to log off, but he says, good luck and don't forget the tarragon.
Oh, we
Tarragon's
got it.
in there.
It's
And
in there,
then
Doug.
Kate said nice whiskey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It
Thank
is
you.
good whiskey. We mentioned that. That's on their profile.
What kind of salt are you using?
This is
This is Maldon Salt?
Ooh.
this is the salt that is recommended by Samin Nosrat in the salt episode of Fat Salt Acid Heat.
If you take a look at the crystalline structure of this salt, you'll notice.
Look at that.
Yep, big flakes. Crunch.
And where could you purchase said salt?
At your local grocer or anywhere fine foods are sold.
Yeah, I would say maybe
The Saint-
not all local grocers.
The St. Paul Cheese Shop.
The St. Paul Cheese Shop?
Yep, it was there. Ooh, maybe some pepper.
All right, I'll
Where's
keep
the pepper
string.
grinder?
Pepper grinder's on the table, close at hand. Also coming up in season 3 here, we have, well, first of all, coming up with NPM, we hope to capture a lot of additional interviews. NPM is where we capture, I'd say, about half of the interviews that you hear. We still have an interview with Father Ricky Manalo on his song On Katawani Cristo, which I'm really excited to release. We have another interview with Dan Schutte for one of his songs. We've got an interview with David Haas. We Have Been Told that will be coming out soon. We have interviews with Ian Callanan. We have interviews with Father Fran O'Brien, another interview with him that's set to come out. So we have a whole bunch of really great content that's coming out in season 3. And I would remind our listeners that if there is a particular song or composer you'd really like to hear from, that then we'd really like to hear from you to make sure that we put
Tom
it on our
Franzak.
list. Tom Franzak is definitely at the top of our
Can
list.
you light this, Matt?
And I can. And we'd love to have him.
And while you're multitasking, a few new viewers have popped on. Maybe you can reset us. What are we working on here?
Oh, so Matt and I have just, well, actually all of us gathered here.
Thank
Yep,
you.
maybe pan the
Grace.
room here.
Thank you.
We've got a live studio audience.
Do that, but we'll just
We have just completed an amazing week at the One Call Institute. We're doing a little bit of decompressing and processing, and we thought that we would try to make a Bernaise sauce for these lovely New York strip steaks that we have over here.
Yeah, let's.
This is our first attempt at this. And I have to say, I think we're doing okay.
And you added just salt to them, right?
Yep, these are just salt.
Just season the salt.
If you're confused about that comment, see Kate's previous podcast or previous live stream.
Matt, what have actually? You know what, Matt? Have we introduced Teresa yet to the?
We haven't
to the
introduced
audience?
Teresa. This is Teresa, my wife. Teresa's hi to the world.
I will.
And behind the camera is Carmen Grace, who is also on the leadership team of One Call.
Flip it.
Carmen Grace, what are your top 5 strengths?
I am an achiever, positivity, belief, relator, and I'm blanking on my last one.
I blanked on my last one too.
I don't know.
But even with those
I'm
top
blanking,
4,
but positivity is definitely my top. It's my second one, but I want to argue it's my first one.
Yeah. You're positive it's your first one. Carmen Grace is an integral part of the leadership team in making One Call happen and making this live video happen.
Did you pepper these?
I didn't pepper them, but I've salted them.
Wonderful.
Shall I pepper them?
While you're peppering, just want to hop back to Paul Tate's comment. He likes to write all of his liturgical hits in 12/8 with 3 sharps. In case you thought you'd appreciate that.
I think gathered as one though is in 6/8.
Is that right?
Paul, please
Paul,
clarify.
can you consult?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Oh,
That's
I think I lied about a couple of mine.
about a couple of your strengths.
Yeah,
That's all right.
sorry.
So when we are in Raleigh, not only are we excited about the places where we'll be eating, we'll be there for a couple of events. Zach, you'll be playing for a few things.
Yeah.
Where can people hear you play?
So I'll be a part of the Emmaus showcase along with Bex here, with Lori True. Lori True has a new album coming out with GIA called Show by Your Life. We're excited to see that. And there will be a couple new songs of mine that will kind of get, well, they've been played places, but I suppose maybe this will be one of their larger premieres. Some new stuff by David Haas as well. We'll also, Bex and I will be in the GIA showcase, so we're looking forward to that. Also, NPM Pastoral Musician of the Year, Gary Daigle, is doing a concert. What day is that?
Yay,
Tuesday?
Gary.
Okay, well,
Potentially.
Sorry.
we'll see.
To be confirmed. To be confirmed.
Yeah. But we're doing that, and Gary is doing some really amazing things for that concert, so we are super excited to see that.
And you can hear
Listen
more
to that.
You can hear more from. Oh yeah, check out the sizzle here. You can hear more from Gary in preparation for that event by listening to our episode where we interviewed him about.
Is this just water?
I believe so.
I think so.
We interviewed him, and we also interviewed him along with Rory Cooney for a special joint episode. So you can check that out on our website, openyourhymnal.com.
And something very unique to Raleigh, we're doing a thing with Tony Alonso called Beer and Hymns.
Yes, that's right. In addition to eating, we'll also be enjoying some beer with Tony.
Maybe, I don't know how low of a heat you can put that on, but
All right.
Keep it on the low.
I don't know if either are mine. I stopped drinking because I thought I finished mine.
Maybe it's partially on the edge.
I don't have many tips about cooking, but one tip I would offer people that I think I never knew growing up was you shouldn't cook with cold meat. I think a lot of times people go right from the fridge with their meat into whatever they're doing. Generally, meat should come up to room temperature.
Look, you're watching.
That's a good tip.
You get an even sear when you do that.
I don't know if I told you this, Zach, but you'll appreciate the joke that I will be presenting a workshop at NPM on how to maintain balance.
Are you?
So that's a true story. Yeah.
I think really if there's anyone who should be laughing at that, it's Teresa.
That's right. And so people can come and see us at NPM if that's where you'd like to make your recommendation about what interviews you'd like for us to capture. That'd be
Oh,
great.
careful.
We already have mentioned to several of our composer friends we'd like to interview them. So we're planning on interviewing Craig Colson. We're planning on interviewing Chris De Silva. We talked about interviewing Tony Alonso again, Sarah Hart. So we have a couple of things that are already in the works, and of course we'll interview more. We usually do about 10 to 12 interviews at the NPM convention, which makes for a rich but a very busy week for us.
Gary Daigle concert is on Tuesday at noon. Is that right?
Tuesday at noon. Excellent.
Thank you for confirming.
One of the team members we had with us at One Call this last week is the president of the National Association of Pastoral Musicians, Steve Petronak.
You know, the thing that always impresses me about Steve Petronak right now in his role as NPM president is that he continues to serve as a music minister. Which is, I mean, our past presidents have done the same as well, but Steve is still very much in the recording studio. He's teaching at conferences, Guitar and Ensemble Institute, One Call this past week. So I think it's always great when you get to see the president of your organization just in the trenches with
Actually
you.
doing.
Doing.
No, that's exactly right. That's
Isaac
exactly
Henson, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
Hi, Isaac.
Way to go,
One call would not have
Isaac.
happened this last week without the hard work and literal sweat of Isaac and who was an intern with us, and Julia. So Isaac, we're glad to have you on the show.
Isaac, you notice the big chunks on the meat?
Wait, jugs?
If anybody who's listening is going to be at NPM, make sure to let us know.
I think if you start to see the consistency changing, like we can go like off the heat and then back on the heat. Yeah.
Should we do a consistency check?
Have you done a taste check yet?
No.
Taste it.
Is it something?
Well, because we might need to season it. You should always taste your food. We see that often.
As we demonstrate, you
Advise.
should never trust a skinny chef. So.
Zach, are you just searing those?
I am just searing these in case any viewers are wondering why I'm only cooking these huge thick steaks for like 20 seconds on each side.
Because
We like them that rare.
asking the obvious question.
So do not worry.
Can George Miller give us a read on what he thinks is happening right now?
Is he still with
I
us?
think George is probably having a good drink, but we'll see if he pops back on.
I think it's good.
We're doing it.
Did you try it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, I let you try it. I had to try it first. If anyone's going to be at an extended stay in Raleigh and wants us to come and cook for them, we require a 24-hour notice.
That's not
Actually,
much.
we did kind of cook last year. We got to stage the reception, the NPM reception. Remember that? We
Yep,
go out and
that's
lay out
right.
some meats and
We should
cheese.
welcome Matt Mouse. He's joined us.
Ah, Matt.
Hey,
Mouse,
Matt.
welcome.
The kitty
We
is
should also
surfing.
plug some of our One Call friends have events at MPM. Craig Colson's doing a concert, I believe, with John and Gotti and Ed Bolda.
John and Gotti, who is also with us at One Call. You can see some videos on the One Call Facebook page of that. It was great to have John with us as our special guest.
Cliff Petty, who is not at One Call physically, but very much so through the spirit of his music, is offering events at MPM.
Yep.
Bex, would you like to talk about your technology workshop that you'll be doing with Craig Colson and Amanda Bruce?
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to talk about technology, specifically using iPads in the liturgy and with music ministry.
Oh no, I think if you just want to go to like 500. Oh, is it not preheated? I thought it was.
Now to the live audience.
All right, we're a little bit concerned because we thought the oven was preheated, and so a little bit of suspense.
Are we also supposed to be prepping carrots?
Well, we're glad that Doug Starkerbaum is not watching.
Maybe we'll forego the carrot.
Okay.
I don't know. We can make the carrot.
Zach, do you want to talk about your choice for the cast iron and as opposed to a regular skillet? Why'd you do that?
You get a better sear on cast iron. I think generally there's not anything that's not made better like cast iron. Viewers can discuss, but that's what I believe.
Yep.
I make scrambled eggs in the cast iron.
I do too.
People bake in the cast iron.
Sure.
You get a better sear.
Other One Call team members who will be at NPM Raleigh, of course, are Jaime Cortez, who is with us leading one of our. Oh, he's not going to be there? Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, we're going to sing a lot of Jaime Cortez's music. I would encourage you to check out our interview with Jaime Cortez. We interviewed him about his song Somos el Cuerpo de Cristo.
At some
Jaime-
point, we got to do Rain Down.
We have to do Rain Down. Jaime has been much like Steve, a tireless advocate for working with young people. And to see the way that Jaime works with young people at One Call is really, really an inspiration and a masterclass. Marty Haugen was with us for a while, and we will see him in Raleigh. He'll be doing a couple of things. So we'll be pretty well represented, both in the Open Year Hymnal alumni family and the One Call family.
Yep.
Very excited.
Well, we're gonna really just have to wait till the oven preheats. So I don't know, maybe we sign off for now, and then we can
Yep.
post some pictures of the final product here. But I'm happy to report, I believe that unless anything tragic happens, the Bernaise sauce was a success.
We really did it. George, Bonnie, we hope we made you proud. See you in Raleigh.
Thanks, everyone.